Pick me up off the floor I've fallen down.
Put out a statement and it was read over on ATS, and I think Chasing is reading it. So let's go into that. Guys, be sure to give this live a thumbs up for me. Helps me go out into the algorithm. And also be sure to share to your favorite platform. Today, we're coming to you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So hi, everyone. Good to see you on the platform. Yeah, I don't know much about Annie. I know she had her channel, and it's from the sounds of it, she got ran off. So, not cool. I think everybody should be able to have a voice. Oh, did you guys see? Like, just I was watching some YouTube stuff, and I saw that YouTube is allowing content creators that they kicked off the platform to come back. They're giving them a limited trial, some of them. So I wonder who's going to be rejoining us on the YouTube platform. So if your favorite content creator that you didn't, I don't think anybody should really be deplatformed unless they're saying harmful things or they're like taking real life stalking and that kind of stuff. But they are allowing some content creators to come back. So if your favorite content creator was deplatformed, you might see him again.
Parts of this. So thank you guys. For real.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I enjoyed it.
For this now, just oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
What?
Wait, what is it?
Her report, her competency report, like to see.
Mm-hmm.
It says there was one credible report that sealed core documents, competency. They were inadvertently published online for a brief period by the.
See, I followed the Lori Daybell case, but I loosely followed it. Like I could tell you probably, like I guess I could get. I like to put things down into like grading. I could probably get a C if if it was multiple choice. I could probably get a B. But if I had to write out the answers myself, I would get a C on the Lori Vallow trial case. And Chad I know even less about, but Lori I know a little bit more.
Idaho court system, but those documents were taken down and remain sealed. The incident occurred in May of 2021 when court records, including a competency evaluation information, were briefly uploaded before an emergency judicial order sealed them again. Local news outlets did not.
That's another thing I'm not a know-it-all. I don't know everything. And if I get it wrong and you correct me, I'm happy for you to correct me and I will say it right. You know, I get so annoyed by people saying, you don't know what you're talking about. You said it wrong. Blah, 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 blah. You know, it's like, these are the things that are weighing on my heart. And I'm so happy that actually this is happening because now I can say no more. And I think that we should all say no more. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect. And if Lauren had just handled this differently, I think we can all say that we would have all handled it differently. If she had said, yeah, I was a real ass. That was so stupid. I don't know why I said that. I mean, I even came on here and told you like my most embarrassing mess up where I told a secret, which I learned never, like the universe really like gave me a swat in the tushy in the face for doing that, you know, like embarrassment 101. I learned never to tell secrets because even if they were treating me poorly, I look like the asshole. And so this is what's happened. Yeah, Christina shouldn't made those TikToks and she went maybe too far with the brother stuff. But maybe not even, because in this day and age, the more I've thought about it, I've looked at her TikToks and I don't see anything that horrible, really. Like, the brother thing is questionable and they're all stuff that I would not do. Just for the record, I wouldn't make a TikTok about you guys. I just wouldn't. But I've said it over and over again. I can see where she came from, where you just get so sick of this person getting one over and over and over, and you see it and you're like, don't you see it? And even if you speak up, then you look like the jerk. So I do get it. I do get it.
Reproduce their exact content to avoid legal issues.
Yeah, she never
The inadvertent publication was very brief.
I looked,
did
I
not
went back. It was reported in the beginning that she did put names down in the hashtags, but I've looked down in the hashtags and I can't even find names. This is Lauren. This is Lauren running around like, there's this story about, this Native American told me the story about Rabbit and how Rabbit comes out of its hole and it runs around and doesn't want Hawk to eat it, but it runs around and says, "Oh, don't eat me, don't eat me." And it's making all this noise and it's thrashing around saying, "Don't eat me, don't eat me, don't eat me, Hawk, Hawk, I'm right here, don't eat me." That's basically what Lauren did. Oh my God, she's making this page that has less than 1,000 subscribers. She's making TikToks about me, you guys. I've got 317,000 subscribers. She's making TikToks. She's my stalker, 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 stalker. It's just ridiculous. To me, thank goodness Christina has people like us that see it and stand up for her and say, no, 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 no.
Result in a widespread release of the reports, but I'm trying to see where it says that hidden true crime did hidden.
Hey, Crusha's here. She said, if we don't stop exposing her, she'll move on to next victims and reoffend. I think this community should do all we can to keep it.
Yes, Crusha. Yes, right there. That's basically what I just said. For the people that still, okay, I used to cover the Gypsy Rose case, but I had to back off because there's a lot of infighting or that, but I had to back off. But I am so appreciative of the people that stick with it, because if everybody backed off, then Gypsy Rose, I just saw Gypsy Rose went into Wikipedia and is trying to rewrite Wikipedia, trying to say that she wasn't the schmurder, that she was a Munchausen syndrome by proxy. I mean, you have to stay on people like this, or they rewrite the story, and then later down the road, Lauren's a good girl. This was all, for show. She didn't do anything. Bullshit. This is all Lauren.
Exposing. She burned her false kingdom down. We need to keep shining. Well, I hope that you...
I'm swearing. I got to stop swearing.
Will keep using your voice. I know you will. And I'm going to listen. I'm here to listen. And, I'll be paying attention to whatever else comes out. Because I don't think it's over, but I don't know. Like, I'm kind of in this limbo place of what's going to happen next. Is there going to, yeah. So, but,
victims, Crusha.
I think it could have been, but those are really hard and expensive to do. And so I think they thought they could do a backdoor. And I've seen this before. I've seen people try to do little backdoor ways of controlling a legal situation. And this one, in my opinion, and in my glee, and I'm happy because I've seen other people do this and it worked against them and it sucks. She tried to do a backdoor way of silencing someone and it just isn't working for her. Gigi has a spill on her YouTube explaining what Al did to her. What? A spill? What's a spill? A leakage? Does she have leakage somewhere? Did she mention it? Like, was she saying like a friend of a friend of a friend type deal? Is that what that means? Sorry. I don't understand. Annie Megan Colby Crusha. I have no reason to judge these people who are just trying to make sense of what happened, to their family. Others can judge as they want. Lauren and John claim to be professionals. I don't judge these guys at all. Hey, Amber. They know exactly what it is. I'll judge Lauren and John all day. And if that's what you want to do, then that's your complete, everybody judges everybody every single day of their lives. I don't care if you think you're not, but you are. Try really hard not to. And I try to, I drive people crazy because I can be too nice to people I try to be their background and this was this and they probably were thinking this and I don't know, but I'm trying to get out of that. I know, because I know it drives people crazy, because even seeing this, people coming in here and being like, I don't know, what did she really do that bad? What? I created a playlist. Go listen to it. I just don't have time for it anymore. Not to be a bitch. I'm not trying to be a bitch, but I just don't get it. And I think maybe you guys, spill means explains. Oh, sorry. Oh, spill means explains. Oh, well, all right, let me get this one going and I will pop over there and see if I can see what's up. So let's listen to this statement.
People who have been victimized by her.
Yes.
Especially from crime families, victims of crimes. They absolutely should be able to speak, be heard, discuss whatever they want to discuss, and feel free to know that people are going to support them for doing that. Where it changes is, are we just, picking apart her face and her husband, and why is she married to him? Because he looks like this and she looks like that, and this is weird, and that's when it becomes like,
yeah, I think you have
weird drama.
Yes, I agree with that.
You have to be careful not to get too much into picking their personal appearances apart. But I mean, you're sitting here staring at them, and she does do weird stuff to her face, and it is what it is, everybody, I get tired that we're not allowed to notice the way a person looks in this day and age. Like you ask a question and it doesn't matter. Well, no, it doesn't matter, but it's an identifying factor, and we're humans, and our minds are trained to notice differences in things. So just give me something, right? Because no, it doesn't matter. I don't know where you're coming from, but no, nothing matters. And if your race, your sex, your sexual identity, I mean, it doesn't matter, but it helps to identify. So I'm tired of being accused for asking questions. Obviously, you can tell what my trigger points are, what I'm getting tired of, what I'm fatigued with. What are you guys fatigued with?
Rather than focusing, because this is strong enough on its own.
Yeah, it is.
Right. That was my point too, Chasing, is that her actions are what matters, not what package the actions came in. I don't give a rat's fat kneecap about that. Although I will say, I did like the bag that she was carrying at CrimeCon. I did. I noticed it and I liked it.
Thanks, Elena.
I was not, however, a fan of her chunklets. There, I said it.
I do.
I do.
I'm almost 55 years old. I do things to my face. So, I mean, if I looked crazy, then, and one day I might do something and it turns out looking crazy. I don't know. But I wouldn't expect you guys not to notice it. I wouldn't. So.
Have a fear though, like when I think anything that she's done that is terrible should be exposed, but my fear is like I hope there's nothing else that's like going to be extremely hurtful to the victims and their families, like because I'm kind of bracing for what's next, and
I'm with Alex though. I am kind of bracing. I really hope that people don't take it down too far, but it always does. And then the content creators, there's going to be a content creator or two that will slam their foot down on this and think that they've got dominion over covering it. Like, I'm just saying, this happens in every case. They think they've got dominion over it and they're the expert and they get all the good juicy stuff. I saw like Sleuth, I want to call her Loosey Goosey, but I know it's Sleuthy Goosey. I saw over on Sleuthy Goosey. I wanted to use her content. She is the person that put all the stuff together for us. And I was going to use her body cam footage and show it and, show her channel. But I pop over there and this is what I get today. And it's just so freaking annoying that another content creator had to take it to this place. We get this. She says, notice of unauthorized use of material. It has come to my attention that court records and materials I originally provided free of charge, because it's not free for us to get this for you guys. Any content creator that you have to pay when you send away you request this. So for public transparent, that's why I always go overboard and I make sure I say who it is and then I put it down in the show notes. And I want you to go to their pages. Even if I don't support them, I put it there because it's their work and it's to cite my sources. So it is, and everybody does it a different way. Every content creator, like, I'm not saying my way is the only way and it's the best way, but everybody needs to do how they feel it's best. But this irritates me that this content creator did this. So apparently this content creator took this free content and put it behind a freaking paywall. Gatekeeped it. Took money from another. So this is probably the stuff that will start happening. These materials were made available solely for educational and informational purposes, not for resale, paywalling, or monetization by third parties. Reproducing, reposting, or profiting from the documents without authorization violates copyright and fair use standards and misrepresents the internet of the original distribution. I have formally documented this misuse and will be taking the appropriate steps to ensure that the content is removed and the further unauthorized monetization ceases immediately. It's ridiculous that somebody would take something that someone took their time and energy to put up for us to use and then to put it behind a freaking paywall. And also, you guys, don't why would you pay for, like, look around the internet, be like a bargain, don't just like pay for stuff, like, this day and age, look for a coupon somewhere. Just saying. I'm a cheapskate though. Thank you so much, Unsolved Amy Boston. Lauren and John claim to be these high-level professionals. I have a higher standard for what they are selling. I don't respect that at all. I don't either, and I feel very uncomfortable about Dr. John now with his thought experiment. And the more I think about it, like, why did he put her as a preteen? This Lauren wasn't, like, Victoria was Lauren, okay? And Becky is, like, maybe Christina sometimes, and maybe John other times. I don't know. But Victoria was Lauren, and she was preteen in this thought experiment. And then there was like several incidents where Victoria was having ex relations with her family members. And that wasn't sad. It was more like they said she wanted to like take a sperm. So it was like the weirdest thought experiment. And he fatigued me, and he threw that thought experiment in at the end of a 3-hour live. It doesn't make sense, that thought experiment. Yeah, get your 4 lawyers, because I really think Christina has a case here. That was fixed, the paywall issue. Oh, it was? Oh, okay. Oh. Well, I don't have her stuff to use today, but I did. I'll put her link in the show notes if you guys want to go over. I found somebody else's work because I don't know where she put it. When I did ask her, I asked her over there, when she started her Botox career, she was damn proud of it. She told us every time she got it. That was when I was still a sub. It got so bad, people were telling her to stop. It's not just Botox she has in her face. She's got other filler because she's got those cheeks. Botox and other filler, they actually have stopped. When you get older, they don't want to put it around your smile lines. They start putting it up on your cheekbones to raise your face so that you don't get droopy. So she's been doing a lot of stuff to her cheeks. I see it in her cheeks. But all right, chasing. She's going to read it any minute now. I'm sure of it.
People have those. They should get in touch with the person it pertains
Yep.
to.
That's what I
And
said.
then if that person, let's say it is Kresha, if Kresha then wants to discuss it on a channel, on her own channel or whatever, that's her business. But if we are getting this information or seeing it and then we're exploiting it, then we are re-victimizing victims.
Absolutely.
It's wrong.
That's true. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we're using it for views.
Correct.
We're
Correct.
not doing it for the good of Kresha, the good
No.
of JJ, the good of Kay, the good of Tylee. We're doing it because we have the breaking news, and that's fucked up.
Yeah.
It
no.
is fucked up. I wouldn't do that.
Hell
And I'll just
no.
let you
It should
girls
go
both
straight
know.
to them.
If somebody sent me a text message or somebody else was talking shit
I
about
have a friend that I do a show called Skincare and Suspects, and I'm considering asking her to come on and looking at us trying to look at and decide what kind of implants and what she's had. I don't know if I want to take it that far, but I'm so interested in skincare, and I do a show called Skincare and Suspects. I'm toying with it.
I would let you know privately. And then I would let you know. And then whatever you do with that information is what you do with that.
Okay, here it is. This is where I saw Kresha talking about it. She says, Alex, I found the timestamps for what she struck me on, and it's 18 minutes when I used her video of our personal photos. I did appeal, but it's not the accidental screenshot. So Kresha didn't even get struck for what everybody is saying she got struck for. She got struck for using photos that were of her own family, but they were from Lauren's channel.
And if somebody put it out without letting them know, like I would be pissed. I'd be raging for them but I know people do that shit. But
that is a lot of how this community and others works. If somebody comes across something, like for example, I had the audio and the declarations and all the things, and I didn't put anything out. I had them for days before anybody saw them. I never released them. I never even talked about them. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this. I don't know what could come from this or what might.
So if he was picking Victoria Beckham, who's Becky in the who would be Becky in the situation? Like, we know it's Christina, but what famous person would he be pulling for Becky?
Blow up, or who I'm hurting, or who I'm upsetting. I'm not gonna do it. The minute it got sent to one of these channels, boom, 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 boom. That's all you heard. And I'm just like, do we ever just stop to think for 2 seconds about who else we could be affecting and in what way we might be affecting them? No, we don't. We just go because just like her, she's doing what she does for views. That's why you create a channel. And I mean, I get that. I understand it, but sometimes you got to really think before you.
How's this going to affect the people I'm talking about? So Kresha says something interesting, which I knew this. She said, I found the timestamps for what she struck me on, and it's 18 minutes when I used her video of our personal photos. I did appeal, but it's not the accidental screenshot, which I knew it wasn't. And it pissed me off people saying that. Because it's like, dude.
Can you imagine? Like,
no, the audacity, where's Joneson? The audacity. The unmitigated gall. How are you going to strike me for pictures of my family?
The 18 minutes when her mother was talking.
Fuck your mother.
Your mother's a whore.
Your mother's a whore.
Not Kresha's mother.
Not Kresha's mother.
Not Kresha's mother. But people's mothers are whores in this because that's what I was saying earlier. Like,
are you kidding me?
Of them and them with their papa.
I mean, look at Lori Vallow.
What is wrong with you? See, I can't because then I get, when I was sitting at the airport, I started thinking about it when I was live and I was getting ready to talk about it. But there were people around me that would have been like, lock her up, put her away.
What mandated reporters? Get her.
Well, she says it's the 18 minutes when Kay was talking. That tells me it's all.
I mean, I'd be very unhappy if my number popped up on screen. I wouldn't lose my mind about it or anything because my number is pretty public. I mean, I've had my number for over 20 years. Yeah. Right. So, and I'm sure hidden true crime is pretty public too. I mean, like having a channel that big, they probably do most of their work on those numbers. So, I mean, I wouldn't love it, but I wouldn't strike a channel down for it either. I actually wouldn't strike I wouldn't have done a 9-hour live either. So what the heck am I saying?
Silencing people.
I'm trying to put stuff that I would and wouldn't do, but I wouldn't have even done any of this. So, but I really wouldn't have struck Kresha's channel down. Like that would have been, of all the things in this whole story, Kresha's channel striking down would have been the last thing I would have done.
She don't want it to get out that Kay felt victimized and exploited. No. She don't want the text to get out. This is all what it's about. It's controlling the reputation, and it just makes me sick.
Retired just put in the chat that Annie Cushing.
That's another thing. That's a good point, Kiwi. Handed out her passwords, right? Just hands them out. But actually, I handed one of my passwords out to somebody I was working with, and that actually covering this has helped me kind of figure some things out of what I will and won't do. So 9 fucking hours, right? Crazy.
I don't know.
She's out of it.
Recently?
I know she's gonna read it.
Found it. Okay, I'll read it to you. Hold on, please.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna read it to you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
There it is.
Annie's statement regarding, well, let me make sure. Is this actually true? Original post for context. Thank you, Sunich. Lauren had a 9-hour live last night. Does anybody have this information? Where does it say that it's Annie, though? Oh, read something.
And this is how it's done, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm a little scared. I'm like, I'm not going to read this.
You got to be very careful.
She
And
reads
that's the
it,
thing.
so it is
See,
Annie.
here's my thing too. I'm okay. Here I created a YouTube channel because it's not because I wanted people to hear what I and see what I had to say, right?
I mean, I've thrown stuff up on screen where I'm like, oh no, I didn't want to do that. So, I mean, it's like you let the world into your house, somebody's going to see something and you, once or twice and you don't want it, but you fix it and then you move on.
So in essence, I want people to watch. There's nothing wrong with clicks and views. Let me tell you where it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem when everything you do is with clicks and views in mind.
Right.
That's
So
true,
if you get a piece of information, instead of taking the wait and see approach and say, should I?
It's her.
You just put it out because you know that it will get clicks and views. That's where it comes in. I'm not going to be shamed or told that I'm a bad person because I put out content. If I didn't want people to look at it, I would just fucking tell Mac and Alice a cat.
Okay, so this must be a thing that people say to every content creator because it makes no sense to me that you would tell me that I'm just doing it for clicks and views. Of course I am doing it for clicks and views. I'm doing it for more than that, but I mean, it's part of the reason I'm doing it. I want you to see what I do, or I would just like do it with Junebug. Hey, Junie, guess what happened on Law and Climb, Hidden to a Climb, you know? No, I'm here telling you guys.
Okay, that's who I would sit around here and talk to. I would watch these cases, I would watch these trials, and I'd be like, did you see that, Mac? Did you see the ridiculousness that just came out of this fool's mouth? And then Alice would be like, shut up. So that's what I would do.
Hear any of this, Allie?
Yes.
You do.
Oh, I do. That's not Allie. I answered for Allie because I'm impulsive.
I would like to hear it. Yeah, if you want to read it, and if you think it's like, I trust your judgment.
Yeah, I'll be careful. Annie is Tylee's aunt. Okay. The screenshot, I believe, is at the center of the melee. First of all, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. I was made quite aware a while ago that there was a message sent by one of the individuals embroiled in this controversy that was sent to their friends shortly after Tylee and JJ's remains were found. Included in the message was allegedly a comment about Tylee that was cruel and ignorant, especially given the timing. I have not seen the screenshot. I was only told what it said by somebody who did see it. Even if it's true, it didn't rock my world, but it merely confirmed that there was an undertow of indifference towards Tylee's suffering because someone didn't like her, as well as a reluctance to even view her as a victim. We will revisit this screenshot in a minute. My perspective on this war. When I saw some of the tensions bubbling up to the surface, I was concerned. I checked out one of the offending Instagram posts using a link that was sent to me, and it wasn't my cup of tea. I also explained to one person involved that PhD doesn't mean someone studied philosophy, so I was baffled to find out that big reveal made its way to production. More importantly, if past proved to be prologue, I was quite sure I was going to get pulled into this war. I didn't know how, but I've seen enough hysteria in this community to be able to predict it would happen. I also suspect some
I really hope that she didn't say that.
Have taken cheap shots at me in hopes their cruel tactics will gain traction, as they always have in the past, so they can distract from the growing focus on whatever Lauren said about the victims. I personally don't care what she says. And what was my crime? Putting out facts of this story in a timeline format, citing all my sources, and providing receipts that others could use to draw their own conclusions. If that offends your sensibilities, you really should consider sticking to pre-digested crime stories where details about imperfect people and processes where love doesn't always win are typically made more palatable. I mean that with all due respect. I would never follow a criminal case in depth for this very reason. I've appealed to anyone who has moderated for AMH to not get involved in a community drama, because even though it's not fair to any of us or the least bit rational, people who want to believe I'm the spawn of Satan wield a cult leader level of control over my friends and allies, and am the puppeteer controlling whatever war breaks out in the community, will see them as mere extensions of me and use anything that they say or do against me. They don't need proof. They can just allege that they have this hunch that I'm behind all of this, and I'm sending out my own flying monkeys into the fray to do my bidding, like I'm some LVD clone who gets everyone else's hands dirty to insulate myself from accountability. Reality could not be further from the truth. Yes, I've had concerns about the MO of some true crime influencers, how they saddle up to victims and monetize proximity. I've heard some of the nasty details about how some get territorial, as if they somehow own the story and deserve a Pulitzer for parroting propaganda. I rolled my eyes at their photo shoots designed to flex their connections, knowing that serious journalists pop an eyebrow at the ethical quandaries that Front Row Seat presents. These same influencers think that if they muster up enough contrived rage at my reporting to my small audience, since I've never bought subs or interactions, their unsubstantiated claims will magically become true. I have stood by and will continue to stand by my presentations. She puts a link there. Timeline and case app. Links provided to offset the rumors that I was run out of town and I'm hiding. Yeah, pause. That was very strange that people were saying that she was run out because her whole website is up, if all the things are up. But anyway, all right, hold on. I had to join something. This is a lot of words here.
Thank you.
I'm not ashamed of my contribution.
Sure. I will, when I do my clips, I will try to remember to clip this portion for you.
And I didn't archive my channel because some queen bee didn't like, not the queen bee, because some queen bee didn't like my coverage or any other reasons that I've read. I hope to re-archive it in the future when I can get some much needed distance from this dumpster fire. If I do, I'll probably turn off comments so people can use it as if it's helpful while I enjoy my distance from the seedier side of this community. But seriously, the majority of people who follow true crime are wonderful and just want to hear the victim's stories. The miscreants typically amplify their drama with an army of sock puppet counts. More on that at the end. Am I batting 1,000 and balancing truth with gentleness? No. Does my approach smack of neurodivergence? If you say so. But is my conscience clear that I've done everything in my power to stick to the facts and present them as dispassionately and kindly as possible? Yes. If I'm going to err, I hope it will always be on the side of transparency. Why I think I'm getting dragged through the mud. One thing I find disturbing in both Lauren's Marathon Live and Kay's allegations about me on Crush's Live Sunday is that it appears the one thing they agree on is I'm the enemy. I've heard since Lauren's Live that she flashed up an image of my title slide from my presentation about Kay, even though that has nothing to do with any of this. And Kay alleged that she shared pics of Joe and Tylee with me, and I used them without giving her credit. Seriously? What? It was a weird enough flex to lead with that allegation in a live where people were tuning in to hear Crush's thoughts about recent revelations that Lauren has admitted to saying unkind things about some of the victims, but it was also untrue. As soon as Kay made the allegation and I saw the inmates take over the asylum and chat, I turned off the live, prepared a screenshot of her and my messenger thread that documents all of our interactions since early 2020 and redacted the personal information, and then I went to bed. The only picture shared in that entire thread was from me to her. In my opinion, I suspect she was going for a big enough claim to hopefully rattle the cages of the unhinged without overstepping into defamation territory. More on that in a minute. When I woke up, I braced myself for a social media hit job. To my surprise, there was nothing. At least no one took up this mantle on any public-facing sites using my full name, which is what I monitor after seeing how just ignoring false claims hurt me professionally. Then I found out the video received a copyright strike midstream by Hidden True Crime and was immediately removed by YouTube. Contrived disaster averted. But it got me thinking. Clearly, both Kay and Lauren are worried about what the other side will do, as well as the keepers of whatever screenshots I suspect they both may be worried about. I personally believe the one screenshot I referenced is at the center of this whole war, as it would be hard to top it.
Tylee breaks my heart. Tylee really, I feel like Tylee is almost the forgotten victim, but not really, but still, like, she just breaks my heart the way Lori treated her. And actually, this whole case breaks my heart. And it just really pisses me off that Hidden True Crime is dragging these victims into it. I can't even imagine I can't even imagine inserting myself into a victim's family and then doing this to them. I can't even imagine it. You wouldn't see me doing this either, you guys.
Of course, I could be wrong. If this screenshot exists and it gets out, lives could be damaged even more than they already have been. Just to be clear, not my life. Let me also say, if it gets out, it will certainly not be by my hand or my urging. And if those who are involved are thinking I'd come out of retirement to throw a bunch of gas on a dumpster fire, relax. I don't want anything to do with any of these wars. Also, for what it's worth, I suspect all sides would be subjected to unwanted scrutiny, even the keepers of the alleged screenshots, because, if true, how was such a cruel statement not the point where you decided to part ways with this person? I honestly don't judge anyone involved. No one who has followed this case and developed relationships around it can stand by everything that they've said or written. But the true crime community absolutely would. I'm just saying, I suspect if it gets out, it will be a case study in mutually assured destruction, and it will add nothing to this story other than confirming that those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it. I see big 7G energy in each one of these wars. I'm addressing the 800-pound elephant in the room to hopefully shine a glaring light on what I believe to be the underlying motives for both of these women to drag me into the mud with them. I really don't care what their motives are or were, or if any of them engaged in victim blaming Tylee. I think they all need to grow up and move on. You allegedly messed up. So what? It's all part of the human experience.
Right? So
you didn't
what?
like Tylee? Take a number. No one cares. Learn from your mistakes and stop trying to cover them up with all new ones. My genuine concern is that there are troubling signs.
I mean, that's a good point. Like, you messed up. So what? Newsflash, you're going to mess up again. It's going to happen again. So just, maybe get used to it. And also, here's another newsflash. There is no end line. The end line is death. So you racing from this to that, to that, to this, to that is like, you're not going to get past the end line. The end line is death. And I think Lauren needs this kind of, I started to think today, like, I truly think nothing awful has happened to those two in their life. The way they're acting, you can tell that there has been no tragedy, no huge tragedies in their life, and they've not really had to struggle too much. Because if this is the way you behave, to me, everyone has been saying yes to Lauren a little too much. And probably John too.
That some of the people involved in this war are struggling under the weight of criticism, cruelty, and quite possibly a fear of what could come out, and that could result in the brinkmanship coming from all sides. I could be deep in conspiracy myself, but I personally suspect the whole anonymous release of the scandalous text messages between Summer and Adam, that, by the way, had all the earmarks of coming from a police report, but weren't in the FOIA docs, was a warning shot by one of the parties to let the others know what exactly they are capable of if they are pushed. Summer is just collateral damage to get everyone back in line, in my opinion. My appeal is to please let cooler heads prevail. If you have a genuine concern that someone has wronged you that rises to the level of seeking remediation via criminal charges, a civil lawsuit, reporting someone to a regulatory board, filing a CPS report, etc., by all means, seek out the protection and remediation the law affords you. Stop taking foolish risks and seeking retaliation outside the bumpers of the law. I see people on all sides taking risks that could alter their lives if, God forbid, their contrived enemy or enemies lose their footing and succumb to the mental health battles. I'm not trying to spread hysteria. I just think people need to be a little less gullible in their assumptions that one side somehow has a corner on how to navigate a criminal case that has pushed many of us to the brink in many different ways. One final thing that I will caution you about is I think there's an assumption that using an anonymous sock puppet account will protect you from consequences of defamation, invasion of privacy, harassment. They don't. Although the courts have a strong inclination towards protecting privacy, if an account crosses the line into claims about a person that are prohibited by civil or criminal law, the victim can seek to have that account unmasked in pursuit of their remediation. I pulled together a list of cases, both civil and criminal, using AI where unmasking was done to hold offenders accountable. You can see it here. This is not a veiled threat. I document comments made about me that I believe cross the line because I have experienced negative ramifications of these campaigns to my business and professional reputation. Some of the outrageously false claims made about me throughout the course of this case, with a fan fave being that I profited off the death of children, have quite possibly done irreparable damage to my business. I'm not inclined to take legal action. I just want to be left alone by all sides. But I do have a strategy to proactively protect my reputation and business from false claims like this. Opinions.
I just want to say really quickly, they've lost about 3K people, and those are their core people. So they're being hit hard. Like every creator has a core group. And if you've lost 3,000, like 300,000 people aren't watching them all at one time, right? So they're losing their core group, and that's rattling. And which means if you lose your core group, then those are the people that give you the little extras. They're the ones that share your stuff out. They're the ones that come to your lives. They're the ones that watch your videos. They're the ones that support you. And so 3K is a lot, actually.
Are protected. And if you don't sit at my Thanksgiving table, they're just not going to have much of a shelf life anyway, if I even make it to the end of your comment. But openly harassing others with false claims or any activity makes you vulnerable to legal action and can also...
You can't tell, but there are people that are aware of the situation and probably saw the 9-hour live. And so the core group are the people that watch you. So they caught the live and they said, unsubscribe, right? So that's the core group.
The result in irreparable damage to your own reputation, as well as your mental health and career opportunities. Stay safe, chill out, eat a vegetable, take a walk, cancel it out with something indulgent, and unplug occasionally. Enjoy your life.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my God, that was a lot. Will you send that to me so I can read it too? So, because I know I didn't catch it all. I got to see things a couple times to really, digest it. But I just want to say, like, this is fucking sad. That any and all of these family members are being drugged back into the spotlight because and this trauma is very, like, it's directly associated with this situation because of what the channel was about and why everyone met in the first place. So it's bringing all this trauma back up for everyone. That is so fucked up. And not only that, I will not. I don't know what kind of issues that some of the family members might have with each other, but I will never, like, I respect all of them and don't want to be involved. And I don't think people should even at all get involved in that because they all are victims. And like, I can just see like people starting to tear, like Krisha said, like my blood pressure's going up. People just automatically, when like choose sides and shit, when she was writing in the chat, I can't remember her exact words, but that's fucking sad. That shit is nobody's business. I personally wish she wouldn't even comment on that stuff just because it's going to be hurtful to everyone. Oh my God.
I feel bad for it. I feel like they are having their wound reopened. So that was Annie Cushing's statement. Let's keep going. Let me come down over and see what you guys are saying. Maybe people need to also remember that Annie lost her brother to Lori. Joe deserved justice too. Yeah, I'm not going to really say too much because I don't know. I don't know what Joe did or didn't do.
Behind the barn, there's a thicket, and if you listen late at night, you'll hear a cricket, and it sings a song, and I know the words